Fall anime season is on its way, and while it's been a weird year for the world, there's something to be said about these new Crunchyroll original series that have been popping up a lot recently. If Tower of God, God of High School, and Noble East have anything in common, it's that they were all webtoon comics first before being adapted into anime. For those unaware, Webtoon is a free online platform where independent creators and readers alike post comic stories ranging from a plethora of different genres. Their user base is known for its worldwide reach, being as it's easy for anyone in literal seconds to create an account and join over 100 million readers in discovering new stories from creators all around the world. With that many eyes on their site, it can be understood why a streaming service like Crunchyroll would be interested in adapting the site's most popular material into anime series previously mentioned before. Crunchyroll has been the king of legal anime simulcast streaming for the latter half of the past decade into now, and they didn't get there without trying to secure a library of enough old and new shows to keep people's interest. While this has proven to be a success for them, there are always going to be pirate sites featuring anime with no legal way of being supported outside of buying and importing Blu-ray DVDs from Japan. The anime industry is still relying on sales of physical media for support outside of merchandising their shows. It's an old way of thinking, some may say, as people now would just prefer to have a streaming service with an app that makes it convenient to watch the shows you like on any device. It's been seen that the anime market has interest in many places around the world, but those places don't exactly have a way to support these shows in a significantly profitable way. So okay, why do I bring up the way Japanese animation studios run their business when I was just talking about Crunchyroll? It's because Crunchyroll saw that they had to adapt to the market. People were looking for shows somewhere else without having to pay a dime. So Crunchyroll decided to make originals adapted from webtoons that directly support the Japanese anime studios making them, giving fans who care to support the content they like a further incentive to do so, while simultaneously breathing new life into the anime industry by adapting stories from independent creators around the world, not just manga or light novels from Japan. Some people would be quick to mention Netflix's anime originals as well, but the big key difference here is that a majority of these originals were only marketed that way. Their productions weren't funded by Netflix. Netflix simply licensed most of these anime the same way they licensed most of the shows on their platform and slapped the Netflix Originals logo on there. There's believed to be some exceptions to this, however. More recently, with Netflix's anime Be the Beginning or Castlevania believed to be some of the only original anime being produced and funded by Netflix. What can Japanese animation studios themselves do to directly tap into the international anime market and see a bigger profit? Here's a wild idea. How about just getting enough anime studios to come together in agreement to do their own streaming service that can be rolled out internationally, featuring a catalog of shows from various different anime studio libraries, subtitled in many different languages for people to read, which in turn will finally give fans a way to directly support the anime industry just by watching anime. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, yes and mostly no. To put it simply, all television anime that are adapted from source material are essentially advertisements for the source material they are adapting their work from. What if I told you there are anime that air, albeit in mostly late night time slots, completely without any commercials whatsoever? Instead, opting to merchandise their shows and sell as many Blu-rays as possible. But it gets deeper than this. This in turn makes the reliance on fans in Japan purchasing physical media stem partially from the complete lack of advertising anime has. Something frequently discussed within the anime community in relation to this is that if anime doesn't sell enough physical media tied to the show, then that anime won't be renewed for another season. This is true in some cases, but not in all. So why is it that anime studios aren't seeing a significant amount of money back in just advertising alone, like shows in the States do? It's due majorly in part to the large majority of anime studios having to pay to even be broadcasted on Japanese television, the same way companies in the West pay to have their ads on TV. This is why I say TV anime exists to be an advertisement. If you were a company paying for an ad, then you're not going to receive money back in TV ads when your project itself is essentially an ad. This all ties into the notion that if you adapted a manga or light novel into an anime, that will in turn direct traffic back to the source material and physical merchandise surrounding it. Of course, there are exceptions to this as well. Oftentimes, if you watch a lot of anime, you might even see a grand sponsor ad that sounds like this. Those types of ad reads that you see on anime are typically the only bit of advertising money that anime is making. That's usually the anime's only sponsor. And listen, it's like that because typically in those cases, those types of anime will air on a subscription-based TV service in Japan, where you're not expected to be seeing advertisements really to begin with. These television networks broadcasting anime in Japan mostly serve as a vehicle to get as many eyes on the anime as possible, in hopes that people will buy physical media based on it, and that's it. Television anime will not make a significant profit from advertising until Japanese television networks decide to, or can even afford to in some cases, pay the studios more in advertising revenue. So the problem with this whole streaming service idea is it immediately falls apart when you realize that majority of these anime already have deals in place with networks that would conflict with that, thus stopping this from even currently being a reality. The television business model in Japan won't change overnight, and anime studios currently have no interest in signing a deal to appear on their own international streaming service together. So what else can be done? The truth is, there's not enough that fans outside of Japan can do to make a substantial impact on how much money these animes make, unless they're given a platform where they can directly support it. Consider this video a call to action. If you're like me and you enjoy anime but don't want to see the industry die out from not making enough money in places where they really should, then share this video using the hashtag #WeSupportAnime and let them know that you want all anime fans to have a way to substantially support anime directly just by watching it. Our channel is not currently monetized as of this release, so this video was made possible by our lovely patrons. Help us not starve and continue to make videos as well as the comic books that we're making in collaboration with international artists. This Patreon page will help fund the production of each comic book series we're making. Even if you subscribe to our lowest tier, which starts at $3 by the way, it includes every single comic book as it's released, as well as behind the scene videos, podcasts, bonus videos, concept art, production photos, and so much more. We'd really appreciate your donation. Seriously, we're not monetized. Please help. We've actually already reached more than half our first donation goal this month, and we're hoping we could surpass it so that we can continue making more content as soon as possible. If there was any information I failed to mention here that should be mentioned, or a piece of this video that comes off as misinformation, then by all means, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't take my word as law. I'm just a guy who enjoys watching anime, and I genuinely want this industry that I grew up with to continue to grow and prosper. There's no reason these studios shouldn't be profiting directly from fans who enjoy anime around the world. You all can help make a difference just by showing how many of you care. To end this on a quote by Gandhi, be the change that you want to see in the world.